How much influence do you think you have as the person on the ground, whether you're doing lunging, long lining, groundwork, in-hand work, whatever name you call it, basically you're just not riding your horse? How much influence do you think you're having on your horse's back? Not even on their horse's back. How much influence do you think you're having with them on the ground? Because today I did some one-on-one with a lovely client of mine whose horse is competing at medium, but she's training at advanced medium. He's a big warm blood, right? So like Bambi on ice, basically, you know the type. So like kind-natured, but has taken quite a while to build up his strength. Now he's 9, so in my eyes that's still a baby, he's still maturing. And that's why I'm not surprised it's taken a while for him to strengthen up. He can do all the moves, he can do his changes, but the rider was struggling with on the right rein, especially in counter-canter. He would bring his quarters in to the right, and then when she would apply more inside left leg, he would change. So she said, when I'm lunging him, he likes to buck, fart, like explode. And she said, but when I watch him, it's almost like he's trying to release something in his body. And I love this like awareness with riders, and also how much you guys know, how much you see. And so I said to her, yeah, like let's watch him on the lunge, let's see what he's doing. But when she got him out, I said, for starters, take off the head collar, we don't lunge in a head collar, and let's put him in a cavesson. This is actually really important. So working a horse from the nose, in my experience, is going to be much more effective than working them from a head collar. Head collars, you have nothing there. When you work them from the bit, it's too much pressure in the mouth. When you work them from a cavesson from the nose, you could have a much better intention. You can have much more of a positive effect through the body without influencing the head or the neck in a negative way. So play with it. See the difference when you apply pressure to the horse to ask them to maybe move to the left with a head collar. Look at the different shape of the head and the neck. They'll usually fall out through the shoulder, compared to when you ask them the same movement but with a cavesson on. It is so much better, especially for the CT junction, which is the most mobile junction in a horse's body. Fun fact. Okay, so let's go back to this horse. I said to her, do you think lunging is benefiting him? And she said, no, I don't, but I need to do something else with him because I don't want to ride him all the time. Bring in the groundwork. I said, yes, let's do this. So we put the cavesson in. We had a stick just to use as an extension of your arm. We did some flat walking poles, not raised, nothing in trot. And I did some very, what I would call fundamental postural exercises with him from the ground. She's a Pilates instructor, so she was like, oh my God, I can visibly see the difference in my horse, and all you're doing is walking. I said, exactly. Most of us get really bored with lunging, which your horse then gets bored of lunging. Most of us go into the arena and we walk our horses like a dog behind us, with us walking forward, and we just get a bit bored, right? I would be bored doing that. Whereas if you actually turn it into an intentional, structured session where you're going to face them walking backwards, you see so much. You see everything your horse is doing. When they're walking behind you like a dog, you don't know what they're doing. You don't know what their body's doing. You have to obviously guess that they are respecting and that they stay away from you. But I find it, in my experience, a game changer when I can actually see what the horse is doing. So I'm walking backwards, which is a skill on its own, let's not lie. But I'm walking backwards, I can see what the horse is doing. When I change direction, right lead to left lead, or right rein to left rein, whatever word you want to use, I can swap over my stick, extension of my arm, I can swap over the lunging rope, and I can see how my horse is changing rein through their shoulders. I can see if they're blocking. I can see what they're doing, whether it's when they're on the lunge or when I'm walking in front and they're behind me like a dog. I have no idea what the horse is doing, and I can't support and correct their body in that way. And that's why it's really, for me, made a big difference. We then did an exercise called the snake, which is on my YouTube. Go and have a look at it. I always forget this. Don't forget to give me a follow and subscribe, and any questions, just comment below. If there are like specific exercises, videos that you want to know about when it comes to improving your horse's posture, I would be more than happy to do a specific video for you. Just comment below, write in, tell me about it. After 15 minutes, right? And in those 15 minutes, we did a lot of stopping. This is so important, to actually stop, take all pressure off of your horse, and just watch them. This is processing. Processing with horses is part of how they learn, and it's also you having that relationship and communication with them to go, how you doing? Just checking in. For those of you that go to the gym or that work out, whatever it is that you do, you know how important it is for your body to recover, to rest, to actually understand what happened. I'll give you an example. So if I do like a high rocks class and I'm going a million miles an hour doing like 10 different exercises at speed, I couldn't tell you at the end of that session what I did, what I learned, because I was just trying to get the thing done. Versus a controlled reformer Pilates or controlled weight training session where I'm actually slowing the movement down and I'm understanding how my body is during that movement. It reinforces the movement pattern that I'm learning with my brain, which when I then repeat over time is a strengthened neural pathway, which means that eventually over time with practice, that movement becomes a safe movement to perform when I'm not even consciously thinking. So for those of us with the horse perspective, if we want our horses to come out all the time and be as mobile through their shoulders from the left to the right and vice versa, when we start to do the slowed down repetitive movement from the ground, specific exercise for the shoulders, that will then become second nature, so that when you bring your horse out and you get on and you have that competition and your brain isn't engaged because you're thinking of a million different things and what people think of you and all that, you don't even have to think about it with your horse because you've ingrained that pattern, that it's unconscious, that it is second nature, that they come out and they don't have that restriction that you used to have through the shoulders. Let me know if I've explained that well. I really am on a mission to make things super interesting, but also give you guys a lot of value, because over the last 6 months, I've had a big increase in my subscribers, so I'm super happy, but I also want to thank you guys, so thank you. And if like I said, if there's anything specific that you want to know, comment below, just write in so that I can do a video. Just to close up on this point, when I put my hands on the horse that I'm just talking about, the big warm blood, after the session, just by doing that groundwork Pilates session, we need to have a name for it, right? I feel like groundwork has a bit of a bad rep. The tension areas before doing the groundwork were gone. Think about how much money you would save getting people like me out. Okay, I'm not putting myself out of a job, but I always say to my clients, you don't need to have the level that they're at. Obviously, if they're competing every weekend and they're doing advanced movements, then yes, the body needs support. But if it's low-level competition, maybe competing every other weekend or maybe once a month, you don't need a treatment every single week. And the most important thing is not what you do during the treatment that helps, it's what you do after the treatment and what you do consistently for those 6-8 weeks after the treatment that are really going to help your horse significantly. This horse's issue with the quarters to the right, we spoke about it more and more because, let's face it, riders do have a big impact on a horse's symmetry and function, how they move. And I said to the rider, just out of interest, because she's so body aware, it's amazing, what do you normally struggle with your pelvis? She's a mum, she's had 2 kids. She said, well, this is my normal restriction that I have when my osteo and physio work on my body. And Kel, surprise, it mirrored her horse. So now you've got 2 bodies, 2 nervous systems that have fundamentally the same weakness in themselves that are now mirroring each other. So look, luckily, she's super responsible and she's like, listen, I'm on it, I'm doing this, and this exercise. And we finished the session off by reiterating what we need to be doing for 6 to 8 weeks after the session that we had this morning. And we're going to follow up with a treatment in 6 to 8 weeks. Hopefully this was helpful. You know where I am if you have any questions. Thank you.